think. You're now live, but we're not be on Facebook. I'm not sure. I'm going to try this. Just if you can get on and just see what's going on. Let's see what it's showing. Might not be on Facebook. Might just be on YouTube. Okay, boom. Boom, back there. G'day, everybody. I'm not sure this is actually going live on Facebook, and I'm not totally sure. Oh, no. It says going back to the start. But now it says we haven't even started. Okay. Is that on Facebook? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think we might be here. We've had all sorts of problems this morning. We've got a few people turning up. Okay, so it's somewhere. I'm not seeing any YouTube yet. Anyway, there's lots of complications here with the system and also the internet and so on. But we seem to be here. It took about 4 or 5 starts to get this happening. And in amongst that, we got stuff going on with Pilar's manager, because I don't know whether you've seen the tracker yet. You probably haven't seen it. But there's something strange going on with Pilar's boat. But anyway, we're here, and we'll get onto the tracker, and then I'll show you what's going on, and then I'll explain what is happening and so on. Okay, I'm a bit flustered here. Okay, so you're looking at me. I'm going to turn on the tracker here. So you've got the tracker. And I'm going onto the tracker. It's amazing what's been happening in the last 20 minutes, but there you go. So here it is. Here's the 8 o'clock positions. We're in day 252 since the start, 3rd of November. If you saw my tracker update last night, you would have been, getting a background on what I thought was Pilar's big move to head down underneath that big circular current up the top up here, and all of a sudden some time ago she started to head due north, which is completely out of context, and I won't call it concerning, but it's confusing, okay, because I don't know if you can see that she's got the worst color snail trail in the whole fleet, but she came down here and then all of a sudden went up there, and now she's going due north, which is unusual to say the least. So we immediately contacted the manager, and her manager says no news. She said she was going to head up a bit because of currents and stuff, and that's all. So we've sent Pilar a message on the YB3 and say, please explain more or less, just want to clarify that she's intending to go north. The manager's also on standby, sent a message, but whether she'll get it, she may just be sleeping. But it is extremely unusual. Okay, so we're on top of that, monitoring it, and we'll let you know if anything happens.
Yes, she says just coming, so that means she's okay.
Sorry, she just come in. This is a picture.
That's the picture just come in.
Okay, so hang on a sec. I'll come back here. And Jane just gave me the thing. I've got to press the right buttons. Okay, so you've got me. All right, can I unplug that? Yeah. Jeepers. How do you get that out? Oh, it's all connected. Okay. So we just got a picture from Pilar. So it just came in right now. And then this one is what? So I'll show you the picture. Pilar's there. So she is looking quite happy. She's going north. Okay. I'm not sure what that is, but anyway. But it's good to hear from her. And there's looks like a video here that's trying to download as well. Anyway, the system worked. I'll give you that one back, JJ. The system works, so she's going north. Completely blew my cover from what I was assuming last night was going on. Anyway, we'll go back to the tracker, and we can settle down a bit now. Okay, so I'm going to put you back on the tracker, and I'm going to go on the tracker. And Pilar's going north, heading up to say good day to Eric. Jeepers. Oh, boy. After all last night, technical explanation, thinking, oh, yeah, she's onto what's all going to happen. But it looks like Jacob may have been watching the program, because here's Jacob's course coming down, 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 and then he's sort of heading up to follow the others and then making a decision on what to do. And then all of a sudden now, bingo, there's no question he's now possibly taking the option of going underneath that current, which may work. Let's wait and see. So all kind of cool. Okay, so in the positions, look at Josh closing in on the fleet. Cut the corner and having a good ride. I've got a report from Josh, I think. Yes, I have got a report, so he'll be on the report when we get through this lot. 5.4 knots, 102-mile day, pretty respectable. And then, boy, talk about line abreast. Ayrton's probably the next one, 5.8, 95 nautical miles in the day. They've all settled in. The weather looks quite normal. No extreme reports at the moment. Christian doing 5.7, 105. Jasmine, what a great video that was. 6 knots doing 71. Then Adam, you got Christian right behind you, Adam. 5.7 knots. And what have we got? 94-mile day. And then we've got Eric. Eric, you're what do you got? You're on port tack. Pila's on starboard. Careful, Eric. Pila's going to call starboard on you. She's crossing, but you might cross just in front of her. 6.2 knots and 88-mile day for Eric. And Pila doing 5.3 knots, screaming away to the north, and only done 73 miles in the last 24 hours. That's cool. And here goes Jacob, picked up on the concept maybe of going underneath that big circular current up north. We'll have a look in a minute. 4.9 knots and 95-mile day. You took out 25 miles on Pila there, Jacob. So let's see how it goes. Then coming right over here to Keri. Keri's turned the corner. Renault's flattening out. Dan's flattening out. So, but Dan has now got the distance towards. Well, they all have. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Keri, 7.2 knots, 92-mile day. That's looking pretty healthy. And 113-mile day for Dan. Good on you, mate. Right, now, the big question. Here we go. Boom, boom. I might need to go up a bit there. Renault, 6.2, 105. Dan, 113. Yep, that's cool. But you're a little bit higher than the others, a bit further away from the mark, but that's fine. So all looking very interesting. Now, the next most interesting question is the currents. Let's have a look here and see what's going down. The currents, boom, look at that. Oh, boy. Dan is out wide. He's going to get a boost. He's going to slingshot effect in that current, but it's got the issue of he's gone a little bit higher north than Renault, so Renault can cut the corner, but who knows? That's probably why he's doing 6.6 and Renault's doing 6.2, maybe a little bit different. Keri's not quite there yet, but he's done 7.2, maybe. And as you know, the graphic on the current can be very iffy, not necessarily a true indication. So he could be back in. He could have blue right back here. This is a very loose indication of the currents, but nonetheless, good to see. Now Jacob, he's going to have to dip further south because he's still a bit high. Because before Pila was right down here, she was the option was to start pushing through and then maybe even push through that one because it's going to change if we come back a little bit. I don't want to redo all of the bits we had before, but maybe. So that's that. How far back is that? You got to hope that this current thing is accurate, but it's probably not. So there's 10:30 on the 3rd, 10:30 on the 3rd, so that's in a few hours. Ooh, it's looking tricky. But he might be able to work his way through here. And then once he's through that, it's a bit of a home and hosed, and he is travelling a shorter distance. So I explained all that in last night's update. I won't do it all again now. I think we'll just take it as a given that there's going to be some interesting effects of the currents as they go forward. The breeze is coming from the southeast, so down here it's not a heavy breeze and it's going to go lighter, that might affect the sea state over in this area here when Jacob's coming around. So anyway, but I'm surprised if we come back and let's see what the wind's doing in the next 2 days. I'm surprised because this is suggesting that Pilar's got the wind forward of the beam on the starboard tack. So don't ask me what's going on. I got no idea. But I would think that now she's up and about and there and she's okay, maybe she's going to come around. So in the next 4 hours, you'll see her picking up on Renault's track there. So, okay, so I come back and we'll get rid of that. We're following the breeze now in the next couple of days. We'll see what it's actually doing. I think that's fair enough. You can see Richards Bay there and Durban. Richards Bay and Durban. Now we want to push that through, so I'm on there. I've lost my flow this morning with all the confusion and all the stuff going on. It's crazy. Right, now pushing through every 3 hours, so it's going to go light, not too bad, but there's still a nice sailing breeze there. So it's not as light as it was going to be because the breeze is coming back after another 6 hours. So, and that's showing sort of 15, maybe 20 knots. Josh has got more. He's got 25 to, possibly even gusting 30 still, but the rest of the fleet has got the usual, nice breeze of 15 to 20, maybe gusting 25. And the sea state should be quite reasonable, but let's have a look because the wind direction swapped around. So whatever was building up from the southeast is going to be flattened from the northeast a bit. So it helps it go. So this is in the next 24 hours. It took 24 hours to get that lot happening. Where will the fleet be in 24 hours? So Renault might be 24 hours. It's probably going to be right over here. They're going to drive through that. So they'll be picking up the faster breeze, so it's still going to be quite good times. There's 100 miles, and then only leaves another 100 miles. So sometime in the next 24 hours, which we're about to show you on the weather, moving forward to the forecast, that's the sort of scenario for Renault, and the other fleet's going to be back here a bit once we get through that. So I'll get rid of that one now and continue moving the weather to the second day. Here we go, going more to the north and lightening off. So that's not too bad. And then why is that? Here we go. So yeah, the back end of the fleet is going to be going very slow in that second day. And then here we come with the northerly. Now this might be where. Anyway, so there's day 2. Okay, so day 2, they're going to just meet this northerly breeze for the leaders, and so we'll assume that's about 220 miles. 230 miles, something like that, 220, 30. So they're going to be into this southerly, rather, not northerly, south-southwesterly breeze. And they want to go down here because remembering that where the current is going to start to kick in, I'm going to show you the current. At that point, there it's starting to kick in with this light here coming down, and yet the wind's coming the other way. And so, where do you go? It's too many variables there for me to even pick it at the moment, but certainly decisions as they're closing the coast, and they'll all make different ones. But the back end of the fleet's going to be sitting in light winds as this southerly's coming up. Now, how far will it extend up? Let's just keep picking on to the third day. It's lightening off. Now, when it lightens off, this is the tricky bit for anyone coming in from this direction. They've got to make sure they've got the breeze to get across the current before they get there. Otherwise, they need to go northwest to get away, because you don't want to get stuck in the current with no breeze, and you're going to get sucked south. So, there's still variables. But Jacob is still quite a distance away, and he's going to have currents. So there's 3. Jacob's still going to be back down here. He's got a sailing breeze at that stage. There's 270 miles, and he's got a head current to slow him down a bit. He's going to be down here a bit. So if you are sitting there, you want a nice sailing breeze to be cutting up from behind you or something like that to keep you going. So let's just play this through a little bit more. So that's on the 6th, so that's in 3 days' time. And Jacob would be turning up shortly after, and there's a nice sailing breeze coming up behind to give him a kick. Look at that. So that might be the green light because he'll be on a beam reach there, right? So the wind's on the beam, it's kicked up 12 hours. So as he's approaching, if this forecast is right, approaching from this direction, he might have the power. And you still don't aim for Durban the last bit. You've got to aim for halfway, maybe between Richards Bay and Durban, and then just sail across and get across the other side. The current's going to come down. That's going to be against the current again, so the waves are going to be a little bit tricky, but it's about 15 knots, 15 to 20. So you can see all these variable decisions. But anyway, anyone coming down this way has got the option. They can come up in that brief maneuverability and then decide how you want to tackle it to come down to the bottom bit here. So the weather is doing what it does in this part of the world. And just having said that, it's too hard now to follow the progress and the decisions that the skippers will make. But certainly there's some challenges. And then coming through to the 7th, and it's going to go quiet. Then here comes the northerly you want to hook onto. Imagine you are in Durban waiting to go south. We'll just see how long this one lasts. So there's that's on the 8th. Plenty of good sailing breeze there. There's the 9th. Good sailing breeze from the north. There's the 10th. And then it's slowly coming up the other way, but it's fading. So it is, I'm noticing that the gap between the systems and the strength and the timeline for these northerlies is seeming to be extending into, rather than just 2-day northerly and then 3-day southerly, it looks like it's at least balancing 3 days north, 3 days south. But I think I'm even seeing that it's lasting longer from the north than it is coming up from the south. There's some variables there. So plenty of things happening in the future. Okay, that's enough of that. We showed the current. We showed the bits. Not worried about the leaderboard because you can see where the relevant positions of everyone is. And so we'll just come down and check comments, and I'll read you some reports from the fleet. So I'm back on here. What were these pictures about before we go there? That was a model. You can buy model plans for the original tracker. That was just about solo, just reinforcing we have flashing lights that all the entrants have got for when there's shippings around if they lose their thing. And just talking about people, I had a person that I know quite well. He's 70 and he just passed away unexpectedly, health reasons and stuff. And I think, geez, life is important. Che Blythe and John Ridgway rowing across the Atlantic. That was quite an epic that got him into rowing and sailing. And you probably know the story, GGR and non-stop around the world the opposite way. Jesse got back. Jesse Martin on the left there of your screen is solo sailor. He did the film Voyager Madman. I digress here a bit, but anyway, he's a great mate. He volunteered to do a lot of that, and Jessica and stuff. All about people and places. Robin Knox Johnson, people you meet. That's our little chip from a long time ago. I grabbed these pictures at the last minute because I like something to be distracting a little bit for people. Anyway, here we are. Reports. Oh, where's my phone? Here we go. Reports and some discussions that I've been having with, apparently with the entrants even going on. And where are we? I've got to find the... Oh, cheapest. Got so many bloody crikeys. Cheapest. I can't even find the entrant reports. Oh, it's Renault, and I didn't bloody... I didn't translate to French. Can you see the reports, Jane?
Yeah.
Can you translate Renault's French one? I can't even see them. Entrant notices. What's up? Sorry, everybody. Explorer repairs. Surely they're not down that far. I've lost my entrant report page.
The black color one.
The black colour one. It's not here.
You know what? I'm going to send a message inside so you can see.
This is crazy. I've lost my... okay, I've got that. Okay. But that's French, so we've only got...
Yeah, I'm going to give you English.
Oh, yeah, okay. So today I've got Josh. Okay, I'll give you Josh's. Thanks for that. Skookum 3 of the 11, which is today. Life is good on board. I chose to leave the main current stream a bit early to avoid the worst of the approaching southerly low, and was rewarded with moderate winds of about 25 knots and a totally reasonable sea state. Had headwinds for a day, but didn't have to do any crazy tacking, as I had some sea room to just let it run. All in all, not too bad. Looking forward to the run into Durban. Yeah, we discussed that option. Oh, what's that doing there like that? We discussed that option some time ago about the front, even though the whole concept of the front was decreasing. It was also a case of the further north you are, the better off you are when it hits, because it was, obviously decreasing as it went north as well. So that worked out very well for Josh. And I've got one here from Renault, which James has translated. Hello, what a night it's been. The first cloud signalled its arrival, but I wasn't expecting such a rapid wind shift. In less than 2 minutes, a 90-degree turn, that's in the wind direction, and winds from 10 knots to 35 plus knots, just like that. Boom. And this typical Southern Ocean stuff. The sea was steaming. First, I was under half a jib, then it eased, but with gusts, so I put more sail back up. Luckily, we weren't many cargo ships. What a night. Everything is fine on board. Yeah, that's cool. So he handled that well, and you've all seen Jasmine's little video, just showing how it comes in pretty quick. So it's a good outcome all round, and as we thought, I can well imagine when I discussed that too. When it happens really fast, it can be very violent, but then it drops back pretty quickly as well. So it could well have been over 35 knots or more for Renault on that one. I think everyone will have their story there as well. So that's the only one there. A bit of a discussion going on apparently between the entrants about, we should go into Richards Bay, first instead of Durban first, and all this sort of stuff. Because it certainly would be easy to go into Richards Bay because there's no interaction with the current of the Agulhas current going south, because it sort of starts between, as you've seen, between Keri, you beat me to the translation. Keri, I want you to call me now. You're online. I want an update real time. So please call me on WhatsApp video. We need to chat to you. So to find out how you're going. So Keri just passed a comment. So hopefully you'll call in a minute. But anyway, and the discussion is that apparently some would like to go into Richards Bay, and I just said, so well, that's fine, go into Richards Bay, but the clock's still kicking. And then the thought is along the lines that, if the clock's still kicking, then we want to keep racing, but that's going to make it dangerous because we have to turn around and do all this stuff. And there's a real thing, I don't know whether you've been watching it. Well, Ada's been reporting on all the transatlantic races going on at the moment, and the world of ocean racing is changing dramatically. Oh, you beauty! Here he comes. Stand by, everybody. Hello, where are you? I'm looking at me. It's connecting. Oh, shit, the phone. Oh, here he comes. Oh, we got you. We got you.
Bloody hell, technology.
Technology, hang on. I got to get the camera up. This is pretty basic teleporting here. So how are you going?
Yeah, having a lovely sail today. It's beautiful weather conditions.
Sunny. Yep.
Sort of beam reachy, sailing with an A5, still got the storm jib up, and one reef in the main.
Yep.
And I've just put that on Aries so I can make myself a cup of tea. And so it's only saw you on live. So, so the Aries is coping with it too. We'll have a look out the window. So we're out the hatch. A big difference from yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. That looks all right.
Yeah, it was nice. And in honesty, I'm not sure I can see. Can you see me all right?
Yeah, I got you. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and as for the weather yesterday, it wasn't too bad. It was as Renault described. I started putting reefs way too early because I knew it was going to come in quickly. And probably for about 2 hours was sailing really under canvas. And then you got the feel for the wind shifting. And then exactly, without the sea state building, I just got the cabin started getting spray blown into it just over the transom. Very quickly, it whipped up the seas. And then, I think your assessment, I caught few of your words yesterday. I think you said we thought we'd hit 35 knots. I think we were more than that at the beginning. Certainly at the peak of the front passage, probably hit about 40, 42 knot gusts, just looking at what was whipped up. And then very tight, short seas, but the boat just rode it out beautifully. I had storm jib up and a little bit of main, and then as soon as I could, I went to third reef on the main so I could reach across and close down Dan and Renault a bit more again, following that current gyre up on the top edge, which I seem to be in a good position for. And I sort of did follow a little bit about your discussion about Pilar and some of her crazy Ivan stuff going on at the moment, but that was all intriguing. I don't know what your latest feeling is on that. I see she's tacked to come back up to the north to miss that big hole in the wind.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it seems strange she's gone due north. I would have thought northwest, but anyway, I was, she knows what she's doing, so let's wait and see.
Yeah, cut the losses. I'm intrigued to watch Josh, though. He seems to be making up some good ground, rooting direct to the top of the gyre now. Looks like he's got a good track to come across on. So I think that's going to put him a bit more in the mix, which would be really nice to see from Josh, because I've seen him when he's sailing. When he can sail a boat pretty quickly at times, so it'd be good to see him get back up into the frame, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so it looks like Jacob's trying to go under it as well, which is interesting. But anyway, we'll see. And I was just about to do the discussion about some people wanting to go into Richards Bay and how ocean racing is changing. Delaying starts and stopping the fleet because there's a storm and all this sort of rhubarb. That's just not my name of the game. The name of the game is the challenge is there and you make seamanship decisions. And so anyway, so we're not going to Richards Bay, but anyone's welcome to go there if they're worried.
Yeah, my take on that was I think we must be old buggers, Don, because I agree with you entirely. You just do what the organisers tell you to do, and that's the objective. When it looked like we were going to really strong southerly blow around the 6th as we were heading towards Durban, my instinct there was probably run to Richards Bay and sit it out for 24 hours. So that was already part of my strategy. If we were, as it panned out, that southerly is not featuring at the moment, but it could of course still crop up in the next few days. We're just looking out 72 hours.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the realm of ocean racing. It's been like that for 40, 50 years. That's what you do. The skipper makes a decision, and that's the name of the game. And no one's required to risk their lives or risk their boat. But at the end of the day, then the race is once you get into port. When do we leave? Do we leave now or do we leave? So it's all just the challenge and the adventure of it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think the only thing I felt, there was a discussion about a sliding later departure for this part of the leg, but I think we did the right thing, and that was really just to factor in a little bit of recovery for a couple of the boats, just to sort of put us all on an even footing for this leg, because we recognised it would have its unique challenges. So, that was the only bit. But you were decisive in the outcome, and we all just shut up and got back in our box, and usually it was over.
Yeah, it's hard for me too. But anyway, it was kind of a nice little front in the end, a little bit of a taster, get everyone psyched up and follow the scenarios. And, now, and even going forward, I'm starting to detect a change in the weather down the coast from Durban to Cape Town. I can see it starting to move where it's meant to go. So, it's all interesting.
Yeah, I'm not looking that far ahead. I think I've got occupying all my capacity just to work out what's going on in this sort of environ at the moment. Looks quite tricky. But we're getting good information at the moment. I'm still sort of running on energy management. I'm pretty tight with the solar panels. I've got some new ones on order coming into Royal Natal Yacht Club, all being well. And I've asked Sid to send out my old mainsail just in case to carry it bagged up as spare. So I'll get one of the other competitors to seal that and sign for it, before I set sail for the next bit to Cape Town. Yeah.
And how are you? How's sleeping on the boards and food and energy levels? No bruises, not too many?
No, not really. And in fact, I'm cheating. So in my sleeping area, because it's so stacked up with life rafts and kit, I'm no longer even on a yoga mat. I'm sort of, I don't know if you can see, it might look a bit squalid there, but I just kind of curl up in that little space there. And it's quite comfortable. There's some lumpy bits every now and again in a hip or a thigh, but yeah, not too bad. And real boon is still, I can't praise the Echo Max enough. It's continued beeping. Unfortunately, with the shipping that we've had last day or so, it's not been too bad. But that's my sort of, peace of mind really. It's just listening to the frequency of that pinging, the pulse repetition frequency of the radars, picking up when I hear a second one come in or a third or what range. I'm getting much better at. It's a bit like Orange Crop back in the days of our electronic warfare sensors. You got fairly scant information, but you can get quite a lot of intelligence out of it. So that's good. And I had an interesting situation towards the end of the front yesterday. It was night. It was just post sunset we passed sort of nautical twilight, and there was a merchant ship basically sort of bearing down on me. And I called him up and I said, look, just out of interest, what are your intentions and what do you set your CPA to be? He said, 0.4 of a cable. I said, yeah, I'd agree with that. I said, just from where I'm sat here in my yacht in these state and conditions, that feels a little bit close to comfort. So would you mind obliging me by altering course slightly to starboard? He did, but I altered course as well in the end. I went back, took the boat, helm in hand, and just luffed up to go round his stern, but it was a very close one actually.
Right.
It was a bit of a surprise.
Luffed up to go round his stern. That is close.
Yeah, I'll send you the video. The video never makes it look as close because the way the lens works, and just using the iPhone too. But and by then he'd altered course and I'd altered course, so it was okay. But it was it was a bit disquieting as ever.
Okay, yeah, you're the master of understatement. But did you mention you're in a 19-foot boat or 5.8 meter?
No, and I thought about that. I think it's still enough light. He might have me visual, and it might just be that trick of the eye is that he thought, I'm quite a distance from that yacht. I should have said, no.
You're a little one.
It's a little one. Yeah.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing the video. All kind of fun, eh? Well, that's good.
Yeah,
so
I
all.
didn't have time to find my fluffy microphone, so you'll have a bit of wind noise. I'm sorry, and I'll try and do better. All my GoPros are sort of playing up, not working, so that's frustrating. So I get a good look at those. I'm missing lots of. I saw Jasmine had put some headcam footage in, which was great, and I'm trying to sort of do a little bit more for you, but my material doesn't seem to be. My recharge program and looking after it doesn't seem to be particularly good. So sorry about that.
No, that's all right. Well, I got a request today for a copy of Jasmine's footage already. That's a good one, eh? It's just good to see people doing stuff, and that was very funny the way it happened. Like, sitting in the cabin thinking, "Oh, it's Jesus windy out there." Oops.
I just love her face. She's such a Yorkshire lass. She's like, looking dour right now, and you know why? It's pretty intimidating.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it first comes in, you're never sure how bad it's going to be, how long it's going to be, really. And okay, looking at windy gives you a better idea. I think, this is going to be quite straightforward. But even so, bad things can happen quickly on a boat.
I know.
You have to break a cap shroud or something, and then it's a completely different ballpark.
Well, I couldn't believe she was standing there listening to it and filming. I thought it was a classic. I mean, when that happens, you're probably like me. When you see something like that, you're immediately bang outside to work out what's going on. And she did a really good job of furling her genoa. Obviously, there's a jib. There's a few little edits there, but I mean, she kept it from flogging, which is the big thing, and got it all in. So she did a good job.
Yeah, she did a good job, and she. The only thing that struck me is she's got that poster on her hatch.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, but it's all sponsors, but you couldn't see beyond that. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we all need one of those so we can't see how bad it is.
Yeah, just hide. Just hiding from it, but the inevitable is there. You got to get out.
Yeah, do you realise, Don, that she got that record, the day's run record, which was a great achievement, but she got 1 mile more than me and a couple of miles more than Pilar, but she had I think she must have had her A7 up.
Oh, yeah.
24 hours and about 30 knots of wind. So that sail has taken some beating. So lots of credit to Quantum Sails. But yeah, she's got big balls. She was sailing A7 in 35 knots of wind.
I know. I've said exactly the same thing when I saw it. She's sort of barreling along, and you look up and think, "Holy dooly, that thing's going to go." And she might have to pay the piper on that anyway, because it'll not, anyway, it might have stretched something, and it might happen later. Who knows what? But yeah, she's been.
I can see I hope it was the Yorkshire one she's got. That would be really good. I couldn't see. I sort of had one repair on it already, but I figured it's just it'll go,
Yeah.
death or glory. But
Yeah.
I was going to say another one, but it's probably not
No.
a comment you can make on air, really.
I think I know what you're going to say anyway.
Anyway, look, don't let me monopolise your show time. It's great to see you all, and thanks to all our followers and stuff. We're really looking forward to Durban. It looks like we're going to have a slightly easier run in terms of bad weather, but we're going to have a really fun tactical race with lots of beating. So I'm looking forward to that immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, you've done 20,000 miles. That must feel good.
Yeah, time to change the oil.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. Okay, well, thank you for calling. You're only the second one for this leg. I'm going to give others a hard time if I think they're on there. All good. Okay, stay safe, keep having fun, and we'll see you soon.
My pleasure. Take care.
Okay, thanks. See ya. Bye-bye. Shapers. That was fun. So, Starlink, eh? All good. Anyway, what I was saying before we got into that was pretty much what I said with Keri online there then about we're not changing the course and the clock is running and that's the challenge, and 40, 50 years ago, even had this great book. It's called Heavy Weather Sailing. Okay, and it was Illingworth and so on wrote it, and that was one of the first books I had when I was 18. That was a long time ago, 52 years ago or something. And you read all that, and that was the early days of ocean racing, and that's what you did. They put on a race, boom, boom, and you could stop during the race if it got bad. You say, "Oh, let's go into port," or the tide's wrong, you'd anchor, and you wait, and they think, "I think it's good enough to get out," and you go and you keep going. That's the whole name of the game. And anyone that says, "Oh, but that's dangerous," if we keep going, we should all be stopping. I said, "No, it's not. That's the challenge from A to B," and the skipper of the boat decides what they want to do. So I'll never wear the argument that the race is dangerous because of the course and the weather. The skipper has to make all their own decisions on what they want to do with the weather and currents and tides and all that sort of stuff, keep themselves and their boat safe and their crew, if it's a fully crewed race, do what they do, but at the end of the day, it's the first boat home wins. So that's how it works. Anyway, and having said that, we obviously, we're not unreasonable, but there are challenges ahead, and there's a little bit of a taste now to deal with the start of the Gullis Current and getting into Durban and all that sort of stuff. But there's going to be a lot bigger issues after Durban as well. So all kind of fun. Anyway, okay, so we've got that. I'm coming back here quickly, do the thing. Thanks for ringing, Kerry. That's cool. Keen angler, good on you. I like fishing, but I had no time to fish for a long time. Thanks for telling us on YouTube. You just popped up. Thanks. Well done. Thanks, Bruce. Hello. So-so. Medez So-so. Looks like S-O-S-O. G'day, Gary. Rathlin. I'm late. Very sorry. Pink hand, pink waving. Cool. Rathlin. Hope the team is okay. And my bet is Captain Peeler is safe. Yeah. No, she's cool. She knows what she's doing, but it's an interesting turn of events there for sure. Ilse, watching from Darwin. I watched Jasmine's video today. She was flying along in the rain for sure. Jano, g'day. Antarctica. Good day, Don. Update from Swiss builders. 8 keel lead bulbs have been successfully poured. Good. Don't forget to wear your mask. That fumes coming off lead can change your brain. So the molds are very stable and can be used for many more times. Also, I got the chance to sleep on one of the 580s. That's cool. Perfect. Nice handle, Antarctica. I'm not sure where that comes from. But anyway, good to hear. I just saw a picture in the file when I was looking for pictures before of 580 keels all lined up in a row. I think that might have been Australian keels. I forget that picture now. But if you get joined together with other builders, it's a good way to go. How long are they going to be in Durban? 8 days. It's a pit stop in Durban. It's set for 8 days. But that may be variable depending on the weather situation and who's in port and so on. So we may, if it's looking really good, we don't want to hold people back. So we may release them if they're ready to go. Shorter than 8 days, and then they have 16. I think it's 16 days, maybe more, of free time after that go point out of Durban to decide what they want to do, and they could use some of it up and delay. They don't have to leave it after 8 days. They could leave in 10 if the weather's right. So we'll be very mindful of the weather moving around there. So what are the port arrangements for Durban? How long did it stop? 8 days, and it's all being looked after by the Royal Natal Yacht Club and also the Ocean Cruising Club. We've got Vince there. He's the port captain for the Ocean Cruising Club. It's a whole interesting system. You can Google Ocean Cruising Club, OCC. You'll see what it's all about. And he's been very helpful, and he sent us another message yesterday. They're looking forward to seeing the fleet arrive very soon. Keri, last 24 hours, our first cloud turned up. Keri, you beat me on the translations. We got him. Port arrangements in Durban. Yeah, it's all set up. Everything's, berths have been booked, and standing by, all that sort of stuff. So everything's going to be looked after really well. And if you have the time, could you or Jane please update the class rules for certification on the Class Code website? It's updated. There's nothing there. You follow what's on the website, and all of your builders updates. Everything's in there. So, and I'm more inclined not to do a big summary to summarize it, because I want every builder to read every builder's update. That's why it's like that. And you take notes and you put post-it notes on it. You just go through it like it's the notice of race. And if you're planning to do one of our events, the Transat or the Mini Globe Race, you've got to do the same. You've got to go through and read everything, boom, 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 and then read all the entrant updates if you've entered the race. So if you're planning to do it, it pays to enter early, so you get copies of all the entrant updates, because that's the only way you get your entrant updates on what to do and how to do it. But it does take a lot of coordination, and that's partly on purpose, as I say, to make sure people do the hard yards and get the detail, because no matter how easy we make it, sometimes it's like a bunch of school kids. Not for you guys, for our other events with the Ocean Globe Race and the Golden Globe Race and so on. People get lazy, and they always want their problems to become someone else's problem. The information's there. We try to make it easy and simple and so on, but it takes a bit of effort. So, and I'm far too busy to go through and review all of the bits, but we know for sure on the website for the class certification of all the processes you have to do, it's all there, it's all covered. We haven't changed anything. All the fees are there, what you got to pay, what you got to do, the certificates you got to get, the proof of plywood, all that sort of stuff. It's all there. Or else we need to gather all the information from Jane's email. It's not the emails. All the information is actually in the website and in the builder's update. And if you're an entrant in an event, it's in entrant updates and notice of race. So
That's my email.
yeah, that's it.
Update is my email.
The which, sorry?
Oh, the update is my email.
Yeah,
That's what
all
you mean.
the updates are in the emails. So don't lose the emails. And every time and you get the summary, whenever someone does an event, we give them a file with all the past entrant updates. The best thing to do is print them out, because then you don't chase it back and forwards. You've got it all in front of you. You can flick the pages and cross things out, make notes, put flash pens on it. You just got to do the yards, because there's a lot involved with trying to keep up with everything and then try to comply with all the race rules. That's how it works. So we try. We don't make it confusing on purpose. It's just there's a lot of information. Rathlin, I reckon this Starlink technology will make it more likely that skippers make decisions on the fly. Absolutely, I agree. It's certainly safer. We didn't have Starlink on the MGR, but the plan was always to allow pretty much any free weather information, but not weather routing. We don't want people to start using computers to work out what's the best options. We want human decisions. So, okay, awesome. Well done, Keri. Yes, thanks, Peter. Don, you might need to increase Keri's volume. I hope you can just hear it. That was maximum volume on the phone. But I've got to work out where the mic is on the. We've got to put the camera there. It's not closest to the mic on the computer. Antarctica. Also, we're making exact plans with a metalworker for the cooling aft and stern brackets and ladder. We're getting a good discount as we're ordering 5 sets. Perfect. That's good to hear. Interesting move by Peeler. I think depending on where you are in the fleet, Renault will probably be okay, but who knows? Yes, more than interesting decision on Peeler, because I would have thought Northwest was faster than North, but she's going North and very comfortable, very happy, very safe. So that's the priority. By the way, 2 more things. What are your thoughts about the oak mast support? It should be oak. How much tension does it have to endure? A lot, because it's the mast. I would recommend plugs connecting horizontal and vertical beams. Then put horizontal or vertical plugs on the horizontal and vertical beams. That's a good idea. Go for it. Antarctica. Also, can you guess why I named my 580 Tutu? My whole number is 220. It's like number 2. Okay, so we got Tutu. Good idea. Antarctica. One more question. How did the race participants to lack of space on boarding, standing up, little movement, do they need to exercise like astronauts in space? Some of the entrants are exercising. The boats are reasonably big. You can lay down flat. That's important. You can sit up clear. That's important. It was an interesting point brought up. You're supposed to have the backrest on the back of the bunk so you can sit on the bunk properly. If you don't put the backrest there, you go all the way back to the hull. It's very uncomfortable. But you can do exercise in the cockpit as well, and various entrants have talked about it, doing exercises and so on. It's a good thing because they're at sea for quite some time. So they do, but it's not in the race rules. It's up to them. And they're all seem to be pretty healthy, in fact, very healthy. When they're in, I think it's the most obvious to me was when they're in Mauritius. They're all looking incredibly healthy and happy and having a ball. So not like us back in the system that eating too much junky food when you're travelling and not enough exercise because you're sitting on your butt all the time and playing on computers. But that's fine. Okay, thanks for that, everybody. That was a big one. So we'll see you all again maybe tomorrow if everything works.